Yo, what up, though, man? It's another episode of the Howling Wolf, and it's your big boy, Big Ricky the Wolf. That's two F's on the end of that, because if you ain't fucking with me, you already fucked yourself twice, baby. You already know what time it is, man. And we got special guests, a dope-ass podcast in the room with us today, man. What's Buzzin, Cuzzin, man? Everybody get a chance to say what up, though. Go around and introduce yourself. We're going to start on this side.
What up, though? This cousin Boo from what's cousin Buzzin, aka Little.
Yeah, that's dope.
Hey, what's going down? This cousin Mark.
Cousin Big Joe.
All right, you feel me? What's Buzzin coming in here? And these are all my OGs I grew up under, man. And I got a special topic today. We gonna dive into, man, all the different facets of fatherhood, you feel me? And our experiences having them, man. And just to get into my week, just to let y'all know what we've been doing while the cameras is off, man. I had a blessed opportunity last Saturday to go to this new organization called Black Tech Saturdays. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's a great place if you are any kind of entrepreneur, if you have any type of technical skills and you want to apply them in the city of Detroit and you want to plug in to those resources. It's a great place to go. Every Saturday, if you on Facebook, go type it up, Black Tech Saturdays. It's a free event, no charge. Last time I went, they had great food, a taco fajita bar. They showed all of the prototypes that a lot of companies are working on and tech companies from Detroit are working on. They have like a TED Talk seminar where I got to meet some of the major players in Detroit, like Derek Coleman, a major pillar of the city that's been here doing great positive things for years. You feel me? He was there. There was my man Gerald, the guy who's directing the videos, the music videos for Sexy Red right now. A lot of people don't know that guy is from Detroit. The dude who wrote Big Lotto's song, Rip Me Out the Plastic, that's a Detroiter. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of Detroit essence behind the scene. It's a lot of Detroit creatives that are making waves in powerful ways. And if you want to start building community, because a lot of us have skills but you're not a creative, right? Maybe you're a person who wants to get this idea or this restaurant or this product or this app off the ground that you just know will be a brilliant idea, but you don't have the community and the team around you to bring it into fruition. If you're the type of person who wants to execute and need the resources to execute, it's a dope ass environment. It's a dope ass room, powerful room to be in to start building those team members and to build a sense of community. The Michigan, I forget what her name is. I'm murdering her title, but whether she's the Secretary of Transportation for all of Michigan, is a black woman who is here from out of state who wanted to meet other black professionals and start to build a sense of community. So one of the things she did was start attending Black Tech Saturdays. She started hanging out with like-minded individuals who are just as productive as her, who plugged her into the right type of community, being from out of state, not knowing shit about Detroit. So they got her a church community for her faith to go to. They started hooking her up with other professional women with like-minded interests so she could have a full and robust life now that she's transplanted here for technical reasons. I just had the opportunity of meeting a young man from Pennsylvania who lives like 2 doors down from me, who's here from college. And as a black guy living in kind of a white suburban area, you feel me? It feels good to meet and have a connection with somebody that's like-minded and have the interest. So if you are an African-American person, if not, because it was Asians and white people there and a lot of people who just consider themselves allies who just want to empower somebody that they know is African-American or just take part in brand new, fresh, dope-ass ideas, it's a welcome space for everybody. But it's definitely a safe place for African-Americans who are professionals that want to build community. You feel me?
Okay.
Yeah, so if y'all get a chance out there, man, go check out Black Tech Saturdays. It's ran by a married couple, Johnny, and I forget his wife's name. I apologize. But a beautiful couple that are really positive people that want to encourage and empower people there. A few of the Lions came by. And gave the founders some free tickets to the game, first playoff games and stuff. So it's like all kind of people that you never know, not just the high names and stuff, but it's a dope experience to have.
Yeah,
especially if you have
like
yeah.
yeah.
if you got some young teenagers that are looking to be inspired, looking for mentorship, looking for people to aspire to be around to model their career after, it's a great place to start exposing them to as well.
So now, cuz, where are they located at in the city?
Well, right now they it's a small building right there. You know where the train station is downtown Detroit?
Yeah.
So last week they were there. February 3rd, I think they will be coming back to that location. But if you check on Eventbrite for Black Tech Tuesdays, you can reserve your seat now to make sure it's a place for you, and it will give you all the information on where they move around, because it's becoming so much bigger and so much more popular. As the page grows, they have to find bigger and bigger venues to house them. So they kind of central around the train station area in Metro Detroit. I think that's what, Courtown they call that?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. So, man, if you got Eventbrite in your phone, Black Tech Saturdays, please do not forget that name, bro. They need your support, and it's a dope place that's going to pour back into you.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to check that out, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, most definitely, man. You know.
For sure.
Yep.
Now, it's a group of men here, man. I know all my life I have been waiting to feel this good about the Lions. You feel me? I have been through there. I've been through so many silent car rides home after Green Bay done stumped our ass on Thanksgiving and stuff at the Silver Dome. This just feels so goddamn good, bro. As OGs watching all them years and putting y'all time in, how y'all feel about the Lions right now?
Oh man, it feels excellent, man.
You feel me?
I ain't on the bandwagon yet.
You ain't on the bandwagon yet, bro?
Not yet.
I mean, goddamn, we 2 games away from the Super Bowl. Where this motherfucker go roll to?
But it's not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I feel like if we get to the Super Bowl, we should be so pleased with where we made it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. I don't feel that way. Because we've been to an NFC Championship game before.
Say, well, Washington.
1991.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. 91,
Yeah.
I was about 5 or 6, bro. And that's a big-ass gap.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Whole-ass Cowboy fans
feel my pain.
lift they piece of shit team up, and they ass ain't won shit. So I feel like now that I'm here, that I got it, even if I only get to the NFC Championship. Don't get me wrong. In my mind, we already run the Super Bowl. I'm full on the Kool-Aid, blue blood now.
I can't give it up.
I can, because we have never even been close enough to where our hopes are realistic.
Like I said,
at any other time, you full of shit. So this is the closest I can say the Super Bowl is in our grasp without looking like a complete dumbass.
I can't say that.
You feel me?
I can't say that, man. Like I said, man, we got there in 1991.
Yeah, I remember.
Had a good ass team.
Yeah,
you know
we had 1991, but that was just so far away from me. So far away from me, because don't get me wrong, I still hate the Cowboys to this day, because for me, it was not us against the Cowboys, it was Barry Sanders against Emmitt Smith. In my mind.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying?
Basically.
So I always, Barry's team and all of them boys back in 91, 92, 93, them last few good years we had, that was the last time I could really remember feeling good about the team and stuff. So for us to be so damn downtrodden, you feel me? And now it's like, I'm just happy we decent. I'm just happy we not a team that you banking on. You know what I'm saying? Even them few little years we had Dominic Sue in there and Stafford and Calvin Johnson, I knew we wasn't going to get nowhere, because you can't win no Super Bowl playing the whole goddamn season out the shotgun. But goddamn did it feel good to see us get a fucking couple of wins, bro.
Well, I mean,
know what I'm saying?
Me, it was just the excitement of watching Calvin Johnson.
That too.
Because I knew they wasn't going nowhere.
Exactly.
But that 1991 team disappointed the shit out of me, because I had high expectations of them beating Washington and get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it was kind of different for me.
I feel you.
Once they stopped Barry, it was over. That was it.
Yeah, man, the rest of the team just didn't show up, man. But like I said, though, man, I'm praying that they get to a Super Bowl, man. They don't even have to win.
Yeah.
Just get there. That'll be a first in their franchise. You know what I mean?
I believe we got a good shot, though. I listened to a little bit of what Dan Campbell talked about in his press conference. I believe that was yesterday. And they asked him what would be his plan of attack, and he said stop the run.
Yeah.
And he said that immediately.
Yeah.
He said stop the run. He said you stop the run, you make them one-dimensional.
Most
I
definitely.
like that. So now, if you're going to win, you're going to win with an inexperienced quarterback.
True that.
that has not been in this position.
That's facts.
You know what I mean?
That's facts.
So hopefully, if plans go accordingly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that may be a good strategy, and hopefully, we'll come out with a win. But I got faith in them though.
I'm
man.
most definitely seeing Jared Goff outplaying Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
That's a given.
yeah,
Jared Goff been there, bro.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He know what it takes to get, to get there and win. You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing that's really keeping my hopes up. Knowing that we got a quarterback that been there before. Yeah, he didn't win,
Right.
but he got there.
But he got there. And you know what? He's from the area. He's
Yeah.
from down there, so he's played in that stadium several times before. He's comfortable, with the situation.
Right.
I mean, hey man, like I was hearing one commentator, he was like, "Why not Detroit?"
I mean, yeah.
He was, just
Yeah.
like, give me a good reason why they can't beat San Francisco.
I feel like the storyline now, the NFL got to the middle of the season and realized that this Lion team not going away, right?
Yeah.
So I think the story has already been scripted. I really feel like they about to pull it off, right? Because in my opinion, I'm not trying to bring no conspiracy crap to your show.
No, but I feel you. I dig it.
But you know what I'm saying? I always thought that, the NFL was, was scripted anyway for, for certain
Somewhat.
organizations,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying? They got favorite organizations, right?
Gotcha.
So the Lions been in the pits for so long, but at the same time,
Everybody
we
loves
wanted
a
the most
story.
historical.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
We wanted the most historical. We was dominating before it was Super Bowls.
Yeah. Yeah. Before it was.
You know what I'm saying? So now I think it's time now that the NFL finally saying, you know what, man, the city's coming back. You know what I mean? It's looking pretty good so far, man. So why not just go ahead and just write them a, send a Super Bowl real quick, win or lose?
Hey man,
What you think, huh?
I think I'm not far off from what you feel. I think it's a little bit of both, right? It's kind of like pro wrestling. I grew up watching pro wrestling,
Yeah,
you
there
feel
you
me?
go. Yeah.
And pro wrestling is scripted, you feel me?
Oh, yeah.
Pro wrestling is definitely
exactly.
scripted. I believe that it's planned and there are outcomes that they try to guide, kind of like, guiders on a bowling lane, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I do feel like they got to get out there and do the work and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like they might set the stage for something to happen and just hope it unfolds that way. Because if I was looking at the script, to me, I believe that they wanted Baltimore and San Francisco in there the whole time. You feel me? I felt like they was gonna go something like that. I feel like the people wanted to see the Bills and the Lions, two teams that have historical presence
that's what
that
I
ain't
wanted to
been
see.
there. That I thought that would have been dope.
Or Cleveland.
But I do believe in
That
the
would've been
script.
dope, too.
I believe that we got cheated out of Cowboys
Yeah.
because they wasn't going to let the city of Detroit have 3 playoff games in a row at home. I think
Gotcha.
they changed that for that reason, and it still guided us there. I still feel like it's our job to win the games to get there, but they guide the narrative for what's going to sell tickets, right?
Yeah.
Like I believe the whole in-season basketball tournament. How you got an in-season basketball
Right.
tournament that
Yeah.
don't mean shit? What the
Yeah.
fuck is that
Right.
trophy,
What
bro?
is that all about,
What is
man?
that?
But the truth is, for people who not real ballers and don't give a fuck about basketball, if LeBron James is not in the playoff, who the fuck is watching? So they had to figure out a way to get them sorry ass Lakers, and I love my Lakers. You feel
Yeah,
me?
they ain't
If
talk about that.
that's my one out of town team. Since Magic Johnson and them,
Right.
I hate Boston. You feel me? So I
Yeah.
had to love
Yeah.
Lakers. You
Most
feel me?
definitely, for sure, yeah.
You dig? That was my one out of state team. I love them, but they are a franchise narrative that uplifts the league as a whole. Just like uplifting the Yankees as a whole is something they want to see.
Oh, yeah.
So I do believe that it's certain narratives that sell tickets that get people to tune in, because the goal is not the avid watcher. They have you in their pocket already. You're going to watch.
Yeah.
Because you're an avid watcher. You're a baller. You played in school. It's in your blood. What they need is for your girlfriend who don't give a fuck about sports, for your son that
Yeah.
don't give a damn to watch and participate.
That's true.
And all these people that don't know shit but
true.
what happens in the playoffs, they looking for the names they see in the commercials.
Right. Yeah.
Jokic is amazing player, but he's not a personality you can sell.
Yeah.
Cause this a job to him. He don't give a fuck. He ain't wake up dreaming about basketball. He's just a big ass white boy that's happy not to be in Serbia and shit somewhere warm. That motherfucker ready to go home as soon as the game over.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me? You can't sell that to nobody.
Right.
You can't sell that to nobody.
yeah.
You feel me? Kawhi Leonard, a balling ass motherfucker. Kawhi Leonard won that championship and went the fuck home and ain't said shit.
Yeah.
And that's not. They want the person with the ring out there in commercials and
yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
selling the league.
Oh yeah.
Because the league is a business. So,
Right.
like, I don't want to take anything away from all the hard work and planning and all the great things that Brad has done as a GM, that Caldwell set into motion, and then Dan took advantage of and did some of the greatest things. I think he's a great coach that understands the player's mind. And that is why he's able to keep these guys in tune. And that's why I feel like the last piece of us winning the Super Bowl, this is our year. I feel like Detroit has always been a place that can acquire amazing talent. I feel like we've always had a good group of ingredients to get us there, but we've always been mismanaged. And the thing that I see the best about Jared Goff is he's not an all-star quarterback. He's a field manager. And a lot of people got on Cam mad for making those distinctions.
Man, Cam was
between
spot
them.
on.
But Cam was spot on. But Detroit has always needed a field manager, not a superstar. And with a line that we have developed finally here to be, when I see us make mistakes, when Jared Goff throws an interception, when I see the defense come back and I see the defensive coordinator make plays and design plays to get us a stop, and then I see our line comes back composed, our players come back composed, and then we capitalize and fix those mistakes, Detroit has always been a team able to jump out early and fall apart in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I'd rather see us make mistakes and championship teams make adjustments.
all the time.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm impressed by the adjustments that they make. I'm impressed by the accountability that Dan makes where he says, yes, I'm gambling because I'm trying to fucking win. It didn't work this time, but when it does work, you motherfuckers ain't saying shit, is you? And he takes the responsibility when he lost that game and the Cowboys and they felt like he was reckless.
Yeah.
But he came back and didn't waver and did the shit again, and now you motherfuckers is on his team. That's a real man who unwavers from his thought process, and he got confidence in what they doing.
Yeah, son, I like what Dan Campbell is doing right now, man. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna criticize the dude because he's doing a hell of a job, right? Mm-hmm. But bro, those going forward on fourth downs, that's really lost that game. Against the Cowboys.
It was.
That's what really lost the game. It wasn't the rest. I know that call, since should have been called, okay, he bet. Right. But if you take the points gonna always outweigh the bullshit. Right? Take the points, bro, because those 3 points that you not taking in the first and second quarter, they're gonna come back to haunt you later on, bro.
Sometimes, but he been willing and dealing all season and has got us here. And we've had them coaches too scared to mix shit up and play safe, and it ain't get us there. So it is with great, like right now, everybody talking about how weak our secondary is. But our secondary isn't weak. Our secondary is gambling. When you are putting pressure and you getting rush passes and you getting hands on a quarterback every other play and he don't feel comfortable and he's throwing that pass a little hurry, you're running a zone. Any zone, if you have a decent quarterback, he's going to eventually find the open spot in your zone. It's your job to make sure you minimize yak yardage, because when you're running a zone, you are already contemplating what you're vulnerable to give up on this play. The parts where the zone fucked us up is when we didn't wrap up those tackles to prevent them from extending those yak yards. So a 5-yard catch is now a 15-yard catch and things like that. So when you are putting that much pressure up on the front of the line, something's going to be given away deep.
That's why you got to have good man-to-man coverage.
You don't have it yet.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't have it yet.
That's my point.
We're still developing. I feel like we're going to get it, but we are in Super Bowl range with the defense that we have, and that's not by mistake. That the amount of pressure that we put on it. When you saw that motherfucker Stafford eyes rolling back in his head, that's because they is full tilt every time. You feel me?
I would say that they in the position that they in because of that, that D line. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think. The secondary.
Yeah, true.
The plays that the secondary made was because the D-line put the pressure.
That's what I'm saying. That
Oh,
up
yeah.
front, they putting that
Okay.
pressure, and that's why you have a deficit in the secondary.
But check this out, though. Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish your point, and then we gonna go right to radio. Because
Okay.
Boo, go ahead, get it up.
Because now, if that D-line don't get pressure,
Mm-hmm.
what the secondary gonna do? You understand what I'm saying? If that D-line never get pressure on a good quarterback, that good quarterback gonna tear that secondary apart, bro.
That's true, man. We about to go back to the break, but one last point. They are going to turn back, but the point is we have been getting the pressure. And that is why
that's the
even
thing.
those passes that they broke off, man, my man been getting lucky and throwing it up there, and it ain't nobody there to stop him in the secondary because we all in the backfield.
That's why you better respect that D-line. You feel
Respect
me?
the D-line, man. We're going to be back, man. You know, we could talk about the Lions forever, bro. We're going to get back into this fatherhood topic on the way back, man. We going to break. Catch y'all later. All right, yo, what up, what up? You know what time it is. You back with the Big Wolf, Double F, and we here with What's Buzzin' Cuzzin. What up, y'all?
What up, though? What up, though?
Hey, you already know what it is, man. You know, we had to cut it off short, man. We could go back and forth about the Lions, especially with people who's been waiting on it as long as us, man. So we're going to move on to the next subject, man.
Yes,
I brought these guys here for a specific reason because we have gentlemen, all these are my big cousins, you feel me, that I grow up, giving me game, watching them grow up, doing things like that. So I thought it would be perfect atmosphere to have them back as I am growing up and getting older and taking on challenges as a father, as a husband, as a man and stuff, just to tap in and talk about the aspect of fatherhood. And just to give you a little bit of background of how I landed on this topic today, man, I'm just kind of want to give a space to the narrative to people on what it takes to be a father, the challenges we go through, and the different type of things that we approach. A lot of times there's a lot of safe places for mothers to talk about the challenges they have from their perspective. You know, a lot of times a mother doing her best is good enough, but sometimes the only rubric for man is failure or success.
Yeah.
There's no in between. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us out there are struggling to do what's best. We're trying to improve. And I'm tired of the old narrative that niggas don't give a fuck about their kids, that dudes is dad beats, because in my generation and just from my age group, and I'm younger than y'all, but the narrative was that all of our dads didn't give a damn and they wasn't there for us. So I see so many dudes with those fatherhood wounds doing everything they can to be a presence in their child's life.
Right.
And sometimes those efforts are impeded or just not acknowledged and celebrated enough. And I don't believe that truly is the narrative anymore. I believe that people are putting forth, especially within our community as black men, but even my young friends that are just white and having children and stuff, people are very dedicated to their roles as a father and sharing something with these children that they didn't have before.
That's right.
They might not always be doing it in the best way. They might not always be setting the best example,
Right.
but they're there and they're present, right?
Right. Most definitely. Because a lot of time as a father, man, you got to, you know what I'm saying, learn as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? You know.
Facts, because it ain't no rule book that I'm finding out to this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Everything
It's
is
not.
different.
It's not.
Yeah.
Hell no, it's not.
Mm-hmm. So just let's start off with a basic, so we all on the same level. Big Joe, we're going to start with you on your side. Just real briefly, speak to what you believe the responsibilities of a father is.
Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. When I was a young man, the one joy that I had a lot of joys, but the one joy I had was getting off work and come on to my boys. I might have been fucked up. You understand? But
Right.
it gave me joy.
Yeah.
Facts.
It gave me joy.
I could believe that genuinely because I don't know, it's so weird. Before I was ever a father, before I ever had children, I just remember as a young man walking behind my grandfather and stuff, I never wanted to emulate his profession.
Dig that.
I never wanted to emulate what he did. all I knew is in some kind of capacity, I wanted to be a father. I didn't know what it meant to be a father or nothing, but the man that I saw him as, the respect and the role, I wanted the responsibility. I wanted to fulfill that.
Yeah.
And and one thing as a father, the joy and the pride, I never felt more purpose than having my sons.
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
What about you? We're gonna go slide over to you, man. Give you a chance, man. What's your idea of what fatherhood is?
I think fatherhood is, for me, was providing and protecting. Those were the two things first for me, but more so trying to catapult. And what I mean by that is trying to get my children to be better than I was in every fashion. And I knew education was the way.
Yeah.
You know, and so what I did was I just really encouraged education. You know, I just really everything was just education, because I knew that, you know, no matter what, nobody could take that away from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Damn right.
You know, and it was to me more than money.
Yeah,
you know
damn
what I
right
mean?
it is.
Just the knowledge, you know what I mean? So, you know, I you know, as a father, you know, I just thought it was just my duty just to make sure that my children came out a step or two better than I was.
There you go.
I'm really happy that you said that. One of the strongest things that kind of carried me, that stood out to me, that was inspired this, is I was scrolling on my page, and I follow this Muslim page, and this practitioner was saying that fathers are the only people that exist that wants you to be better than them. And that really like struck a chord to me, to my core, because I feel like so much of what I want for my children is not to gratify myself or not to prove something about myself. I want them to be so much further ahead, and so much. I want them to take my name and go so much further than I could, to have opportunities I could never imagine having. And I think that's something that is innate to fathers. Like, how can you not want that for yourself? I think that's a large part of our being.
Yeah.
Is giving
Should
that up.
be.
You feel me? Well, right. Should be, right?
Should be.
Now, Boo, to close off with you, man. What is your idea of what fatherhood is?
I'm gonna piggyback on what Cuz said. Just being, you know, saying a provider, a protector, right, and realizing and understanding that what you're doing now is bigger than you, right? Because you raising kids is not about you anymore. It's all about providing for those lives that you brought in, right?
Right.
And that could mean, like, you know what I'm saying, clothing them, feeding them, educating them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I do want to say this though, because for a father, a black father, it's hard to raise your kids, because you got so many obstacles, you got so many things coming your way, you know what I'm saying, all negative things, right? And so, you know what I'm saying, it's important for a black man to raise his kids to be better than what you are, right? To have better things that you have. I mean, it's not all about materialistic things, right? But the one thing that you want for your kids is to be mentally strong, right? And to be spiritually strong, right? So as a father, just to answer your question, that's my that's what I see.
I dig, man. I can't find too much wrong with that, man. I truly agree and believe everything y'all said is right on point, which kind of leads me to one of the challenges I want to lay out on the floor for y'all now. I believe one of the things everybody said, you know, father, protector, you know, spiritual guidance and stuff. But one of the things I feel like all of us kind of went over and missed, but I think it's all understood and it's something that we all do, but we don't articulate enough, is one of the main jobs as a father is to criticize.
Oh, of course.
And I don't think that is, but let me lay it out. I don't think that today's generation knows how to accept criticism of any kind because the father is absent. So a lot of what problems are with these young adults is they don't know how to recover from any type of criticism without feeling a personal attack on themselves.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have the strength because it's my job as a father not to constantly shower you with praise.
Exactly.
That's
My
right.
job is to build you. My job is to mold
Good
you,
point.
and my job is to cut away the fat. And it doesn't always feel good. And a lot of times as fathers, because we're the enforcer and because we're building you to be better than I am, we become the villain
All the
of the
time.
house.
Man.
All the time.
Right?
You took the words right out of my
All the
mouth.
time.
So that
Oh my God.
and nobody expects that to affect us as men and as fathers doing something out of love that ain't easy to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you want your child to feel good, to have self-esteem, and to love themselves. But when you see something in them that might need to be weaned out or bred out or worked out, how, you know what I'm saying? Because these kids are sometimes sheltered from criticism from their mother so much,
Man, cuz.
you are now the
Man,
villain.
you taking the words out my mouth.
So the reason why is I was riding in the car with my son and he was listening to this song and I saw how much it was resonating with him. And the words in the song was like, I just want you to know that I'm good enough, right? And I was looking at this meme where the first father was telling his son that you're stupid. The next father was telling his son that he wasn't good enough. And then it was like, break the cycle and love your child, right? So it kind of hit me because I never would want my son to believe that he isn't good enough,
Absolutely.
that I'm not proud of him, that I don't find value in him, that I don't see all the things in him that makes him a great, wonderful person.
Right.
But all of that will be wasted if I told you right now in your stage of development that you were good enough.
Right.
And the idea of good enough, I think, suffocates how great you could be.
Yeah.
Because you settle for good enough.
Most definitely. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. As a father, man, you do your kids a disjustice, bro, when you don't discipline them, right? And that's the problem with a lot of kids now, because as you said, they don't have fathers in the home, and you know, say your mom can be like nurturing, right? You know, what I'm saying, but you need that father there, man. You know, so that man
To challenge you, to
down
push
on
you
a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, I'm gonna challenge you, son, daughter. You know what I'm saying, on the things that you saying, right? But see, with the mama, I'm not saying all moms, but a lot of time, man, a mom be like, oh, you know, say it's okay, just next time try not to do this or try not to do that. But with that man, it's hey, you know that you fucked up, right? So what's gonna happen is you got to get this ass whooping. You understand what I'm saying? And that's teaching them with love, bro.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of our, I'm not trying to make this a racist thing, but that's what a lot of our young black men are missing in their lives, because they didn't have that male figure in the house to show them discipline and love at the same time. And that can make your son a great man.
I agree. How do you feel about dealing with that as a man, criticizing your son and still letting him know that love is there? How do you approach that?
Well, you know what? That's exactly what I do with my son. You know what I mean? My son, you know, he go to Renaissance High School here in the city of Detroit. You know, he, A and B student, man, on the honor roll all the time. You know, he does his thing, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, I'm letting them know that these are the things that you ought to be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You doing what you doing ain't for me.
Right.
You know, see, you think you getting these good grades is for me not to put my foot up your ass. No, that's some of it. You know what I mean? But most of it is the fact that is this education is for you.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for you to get, for you to succeed in life. Right. And so, but I always tell him in a way to where, I'm giving him the big picture. I don't want my son to just think that I'm just dumping on him at the moment.
Most definitely.
But I'm letting them know why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, I remember coming up, man, it was almost like our parents didn't give us, like, I'm going to say a voice. It was like, in a sense, I'm the mama.
Right.
You do what I say.
Yeah.
And that's it, nigga.
That's it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, but mama,
Yeah.
It wasn't none of that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, because I felt like that as a child, what I do with my son is I give him an opportunity to let me know how he feels.
That's it. That's it. Ain't nothing wrong with that,
You
bro.
know what I mean?
Because
Son.
they didn't give us a lot of love. Well, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, yeah.
They didn't. They did not give us a lot of love.
Cut.
Some parents did not give you a lot of love when you was younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think I had that
Well,
situation.
I mean, maybe not, but most of us, our parents did not give us a lot of love.
And I don't think that it was the absence of love. I do believe that you
It
can't
was the way they
expect.
explained
There
it.
you go.
Express.
It was
Okay.
it was
right.
it was love there,
I
but the
agree
way
with
they
you,
expressed it
cuz.
was different.
It
And
was there, but it was the way they expressed
right.
it.
Right.
And it's okay to say that it wasn't expressed that way.
Right.
I do feel like there is you can't expect people to cook you a gumbo and they only got one or two ingredients. You end up with mop water stew. It's one piece of celery floating around there, and you mad at them because there ain't no clams, no shrimp in this shit. Well, you saw what the fuck I had in the refrigerator.
Right.
Wasn't shit but onions and water in that bitch.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So sip it and be happy you ain't died. Right?
Onion soup, man.
So you know what I'm saying? So it is to a fault. I kind of understand it, but even with me, right? So I'm a little younger than y'all. My kids, like yours, straight A student, worked very hard, been on honor roll since the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? They was struggling, had IEPs, always wanted to do good, got them in the right program that was for them, and they excelled, and they have been on the honor roll, and they strive to do the best. And I don't put pressure on them because of their grades. They put pressure on themselves because of what they want to succeed in.
There you go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So on the flip side, I don't really have to whoop them. I don't have to put my hands on them, and I've always articulated things to them because I wanted them to understand why my thought process was behind this. Right. So you have high emotional intelligence. So you're not just not doing this because you have fear of me and my consequences. When you're away from me, these are still the rules that and the principles that I want you to follow, and I want you to understand why. So you can take that away from me so it resonates with you. And for me and my children, I've never had to physically really spank them to get them to understand those things. And I think as we kind of grow, but I feel like what they need from me is more emotional.
Yeah.
What they need from me is a little bit more reassurance. One of my cousins broke something down because I can be a little short and I can be terse. I'm very direct. I don't really always take feelings into consideration because, like you said, Joe, we weren't raised with that much love. You feel me? I'm like on the cusp of 2 generations. Like I'm a millennial, but I was born in '86, so I was here before the internet. I played and had to be in by the time the streets lights was on.
Right.
Still kind of came up in that old school. Your parents didn't know where your ass was at till you came back home. Generation still out there. So a lot of physical touch, hugging, kissing, lovey-dovey things, it wasn't in my family. Yeah. You had station, you had duty, you had responsibility, but it was a different style of home.
Yeah,
it was a different style of home.
I can't say that because you know, said my old man always hugged me, kissed me, told me that he loved me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I just want to respond on something that you said real quick about because we still in the discipline of the kid realm, right? So I would say, you know, since so you said that you didn't know, saying that you don't whoop your kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
not that I was against it, but I never felt that I needed it for them to understand. Right. And I always felt when it got to a point where I had to physically hit them, it was because I did not communicate as well as I could to reach them as children. Because violence is just another form of communication. It's just the lowest physical form. So you hit because you are frustrated that they don't understand what you verbalizing. And you can't get them to understand it without the physical action.
Okay, well, let me say that I have 7, right?
Right.
I have 7 kids, man. I have 4 daughters and 3 stepsons, right? And dealing with multiple personalities, some of them you don't have to put your hands on. Some of them you can sit down and you can talk to them.
Right.
Right.
Some niggas need their ass whooped.
You might have that 1 or 2. No, you have to tap that ass.
Right.
Right. See, I'm a whoop your ass, and then I'm gonna sit you down and talk to you. and tell you why I just had to whoop that ass.
And
Right.
you still gotta express it. You still gotta talk to him.
Oh,
I'm not against
most
whooping.
definitely.
I'm not
Most
against
definitely.
whooping because I had one cousin we used to call Can't Get Right because the motherfucker was just impulsive. I don't understand. And I used to be his friend. They be like, oh, have Dwight hang around you and see, if it rub off on him. He was just as smart as I was, just as charismatic. And when I would be with him, he wouldn't get in trouble because I'd be like, come on, don't do that. He'd be like, all right, yeah. But I would see how quick the thought came into his mind and there was no inhibition there to stop it.
Right.
Without me. And then when I grabbed him, like, hey, what you about to do? That'll get us fucked up. And then we about to go skating, nigga. Then we can't. Yeah, that is right. Then it would dawn on him. You feel me? He in jail right now. Some kids need a different level of understanding. So I'm not like demonizing corporal punishment as discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline has to be there in some form.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying for my kids it's not, right? So let's say the infraction isn't enough to warrant a whooping, right? And I still got to express just criticism, right? Like, I'm trying to think of something as an example. My son isn't a bad kid, does well, but he's sloppy. He doesn't really care about his appearance. It's not important to him. And I kind of grew up, my grandfather would walk past me and pop until it hurt and snap my neck back like, hey, your lapel's supposed to touch this. This is supposed to be like this. Your pants supposed to break at the top of your pants. But he was preparing me for, as a black man, how to present myself, how to look professional, how to look well-groomed. Things that I do that I just do out of habit attracts certain levels of people to me, because they can see the discipline and the care that I have for myself, right? That's not good enough to whoop your son about, right? But I do want him to know, hey, care about yourself, groom yourself, without making him feel like I'm always just demonizing you as a person, thinking that you sloppy, that you're a slob, that you this. Like my mom would have just said, you a slob, you this, you know what I'm saying? What my cousin was saying was, you have to realize the way you deliver your messages. Like I was saying earlier, like when I was getting to that point with my family, I was always surrounded by love and felt love. I always had duty and station, and you knew you were loved because of what you were trusted to do and the responsibilities you were given and the opportunities you were given. But it wasn't necessarily shown through love. Now, my dad's side of the family, surprisingly or not, all them gangsta ass niggas hug and kiss on you, and that was an open form of affection that was strange to me, because my mother's side of the family in my immediate house just wasn't like that.
Right.
To this day, I really don't like being touched.
Yeah.
My nigga, like, stay in your zone. This is my bubble. Why are you fucking touching me? Like, I'm that kind of person. I have to remind myself to hug my kids, because sometimes I would walk around the house and I notice they just be standing there looking up at me. And I'm like, what the fuck wrong with y'all? Y'all got snacks and candy? And what's wrong? Oh, I haven't hugged them this whole weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so is that something that's going on with you? I mean, so do you hug them now?
It's something that I am very conscious of, right? Like, so I have to tell myself, I try to make it a routine, at least by the time I drop them off, to hug them. I might not think about it because it's not a need for me. And because your children learn how to mold their universe around you, they don't ask for it. So when they're around their mom, she's a naturally huggy, lovey person. But that hug still needs to come from me every once in a while. So it's something that I have to be aware of, and it's not natural. So I have to make a point,
right,
to remind myself.
Right. That's why I was saying
to do this.
That raising kids is not all about you, right? So you have to do a lot of things that you got to be outside of yourself.
Exactly. That's outside of myself. So like I literally sometimes was like, all right, I need to hug them at least 3 times a weekend.
Right.
Now I know that sounds crazy, and who schedules hugs, but I feel better doing that than
just not at all.
Just not acknowledging that.
And see, and by you doing that, you building up to something greater.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I think a lot of dudes is weird because they don't know how to accept platonic love from other men. So you insecure around other men.
Yeah.
You have to act tough. You have to act weird because you don't know how to relate to your peers.
That's true.
In a healthy way.
Yeah, well, that's been through, the course of history with with men dealing with other men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it kind of make you, well, not me, but with some guys it make them feel like you taking their masculinity away.
Mm-hmm.
If you hug another guy or you tell another man that you love him and stuff like that, right?
But for some people, it's just a natural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just a natural thing. Because for me, I used to look at my boys. I would hug my boys
Damn
just
right.
on the strength of.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
damn right, right.
Now, mind you, I probably was fucked up.
But that's not why you did it though.
No, I did it because I loved my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we all have a different way
There you go.
of
Showing affection,
expressing
yeah.
and showing expression
Yes, sir.
and stuff and kind of I'm gonna piggyback off kind of what Joe said. Like in my house growing up, my mom, she didn't show what I would consider to be a lot of love and affection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mom, she was just a certain kind of way because she had divorced young and she had 2 boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, life for her, I'm not going to say was fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, being young, you had some struggles.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and then too, I don't think that my mom was brought up that way either.
Yeah.
So it was like a generational thing.
Right. Yeah.
My grandmother, because she was from the South, came up here young, a young girl, and stuff like that, and had to be a certain kind of way. Right. And in return, she put that in her children. And so now, all of my cousins, including myself, say this about our parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of what he's saying. But now, I will say this. All of that, whether it be good or bad, shaped me to be who I am.
Of course.
Now,
of course.
I know my mama loved me.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I know my mama loved me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She just got her way
Showing it.
Right.
of showing me.
Yeah.
But I think though, as a child, you want to hear your parent,
Yeah.
say I love you.
Yeah.
I'm 50-something years old, dude.
Yeah.
And I still, like, man, when I hear my pop say it, when my pop said, nigga, I drop, nigga, whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Right. Yeah.
Just for that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Most
Because you be wanting to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Whether,
I agree.
from a child, but early childhood development, man, makes us all who we are.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And so when you get that early,
Yeah.
when you get that I love yous and them hugs and them supporting you in whatever it is you're doing, whether it's you want to play football or whether you want to be in the band, you know what I mean, play an instrument or whatever, you know what I mean, whether you want to DJ, do music, whatever, you support them, and but when you get that, it as a child, it feels good.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Most
mean?
definitely.
And don't get me wrong, I ain't saying I don't want to be up here like I'm bashing my mama.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna speak to that because we try to protect them so much, but it's not that it wasn't love; it was just a different love language, right? It was absolutely love present. Like I have so much love and respect for the opportunities that I was given and for the things that was put around me and the opportunities that they wanted me to have only because they loved me.
Damn right.
Right? But it's like your vocabulary of love is small when it's not spoken to you in each way.
Right.
So even with me, I did not know it was something wrong with not hugging.
Right.
I was completely satisfied. I felt no deficit in my life until I saw the absence that it caused in my children.
So when did you get to that point to where you seen that, where you was like, damn, I got to start showing my kids, more affection?
Well, I say just in I say right around like 5 and 4 when they were at that age, and I'd be
when you called
walking
it early.
around.
Okay.
It might have been a little bit later than that, to be honest. I want to say like maybe my youngest might have been like 4. My oldest might have been 6. They were both talking, but they were old enough to walk around and follow me. And you know how your kids are kind of attached to your legs, and I would be like, okay, do you want me to pick you up? No. Well, do you want this? Do you want that? No, I'm fine. And they would just be following me and just looking. I was like, well, your cartoons, and I'm occupying you, and I got all these beautiful toys laid out, and we just played games.
Right.
And it was like a baby crying, you trying to keep offering them things to see what they're yearning for.
Right.
And I literally, it never dawned on to me until a girl said, hug him, stupid.
Yeah.
Literally just like that.
Right.
She said, hug him, stupid. And they looked at me. I said, y'all want a hug? And they both nodded at the same time. And a light bulb like, fuck. I would have never guessed it.
Dig that.
I would have never known unless a woman was standing right there and say, pick him up and hug him, dummy. And it wasn't even my child.
Right.
I was at my in-laws' house, and one of their little babies kept walking up to me with the same look my children had on.
Right.
And I was around their family, and I go, okay, I pat her on the head, and I was like, I don't know what you want from me. And the girl literally said, pick him up, dummy. Hug him. Just like that. My emotional IQ
He
was
sit
like,
there like this. He sit there like this. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
should I do?
what should I do?
you know what I'm saying? Like, I always been good with kids, babysit them and knowing and stuff, but that was just outside of my realm of emotional intelligence. I did
Yeah,
not
I
know
got you.
what
I
that
got you.
looked like.
Yeah,
Right.
I got you.
You feel me?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I had to grow into that knowledge.
Yeah.
And then I had to clock myself with like, oh, okay, this is what this looks like in children. Okay, this is when they come into me, this is what they want.
Right.
This is how I do it. Then as they got older and they grew out of that stage of wanting to cling to me,
Yeah.
I still had to understand that they still needed that.
Well, you know, say you grow with your kids emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, as you raising your child, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying, because you learn to feel the stuff that they need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even without them having to say it, right?
Right, you know it.
You learn to feel that about. I don't care if you got 12 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that about each and every one of those 12 kids. So
Right.
you know, say you grow emotionally with your child, man. I think as a father, I'm speaking for fathers.
Yeah.
I think as a father, it's the most beautiful thing in the world when you connected to your kid emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
You understand
It
what I'm
is.
saying? I mean, it's just something about that, man, to where your daughter or your son can come to you and be like, hey, Pops, I need to talk to you about this, or what you think about that. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about you earlier. I said a prayer for you. That makes you feel so special as a man
It does.
when you
I ain't gonna lie.
connected emotionally with your kids,
Dig that.
man.
Dig that.
Like
You
when
know?
I seen Boosie recently getting on his son, right? And he was like, hey, man, call and check up on me.
Right, yeah, I see
Why
that.
you don't call and check
Yeah.
up on me, man? You
Yeah.
don't never call me, you feel me?
Right.
And to be honest, I don't get along with my father as much and never had a good relationship with him. But I do,
Yeah.
one of the things that I do remember, as a child, I was always mad he never reached out to me, but he would always call and say, why you don't never call me?
Right.
Why you don't never call me? And now that I'm a father, I find myself telling my kids, even though we
Yeah.
have a good relationship,
Yeah.
they go to their mama house, they don't call.
Yeah.
Their mama call them 3 or 4 times and
Right.
check up on them.
Yeah.
Or now to the point where now she don't have to call, they might call her.
And
But
let
I'm
me
like,
ask
well,
y'all
damn,
something.
on my days, you only gone a few days. I don't get a call or nothing to
Because
say
it's
nothing.
not
Hey,
a man's
cuz.
nature.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, but it do make you feel so damn good.
It do.
And I thought I was on some punk ass shit. And I seen Boosie like, damn, nigga, call me.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm 37, I think my son is about to turn 16 in his sophomore year of high school. That's the year I lost my father.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right at 16. And sometimes I look at him and I'll be like, bam, I look at my son and I said, I can't imagine leaving him
Right.
at that age with the things I haven't taught him yet, with
Yeah.
the things he don't understand yet, with the things that I want to give him and stuff. And so I ain't gonna lie, I told him, I said, hey man, when I was y'all age, I ain't have a pops to ask questions.
Right.
I said, y'all want to ask me nothing? Y'all ain't got no questions, no what you going through? You got a girl you like or something? Shit, I don't never know. My cousin just left here at 33, and his son ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Just for real, like,
Yeah.
like you don't understand how valuable it is to
Oh,
have
yeah.
that type of man in your life
Yeah.
that don't want nothing from you,
Right.
and has that connection to you
Yeah.
and understands your specific
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just
DNA
wanna
and
see
point
you
of
do
view.
Oh yeah, and have your, you know what I'm saying, your best interests.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just say, I just want to say to all the fathers, man, you know, say if you in your kid's life, bro, congratulations. You know, I shouldn't be congratulating you, but these days I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that we should, you know what I'm saying, because, you know what I'm saying, we don't get saluted a lot, right? You know what I'm saying, man, we get tore down a lot as fathers, man. And there's some great dads out here in the world, man. And you know, so all you fathers out there, man, y'all just keep it pushing, all right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all got my prayers, man.
Dig that.
Yeah, this father thing is something else.
It is, man.
It's something else. I'm just listening to everything, man, and I'm thinking about my daughter, man. And,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just getting a little emotional.
Oh
about
yeah,
it,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm gonna say this, man. You know, being a father, you know, for the first time for me was probably the best thing,
Yeah.
you know, that ever happened. And it was probably the first time that I ever loved. Let me
Yeah.
just say that. It was the first time that I ever loved.
Yeah.
The first time that I ever just really understood what love was, because I don't think I did before that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, just having that opportunity, you know, to experience that, though,
Yeah.
man. But you know, for anybody, man, that got kids, man, I'm over here, dang, dude.
Yeah.
But,
Nah, I understand, bro.
Yeah.
but like,
Most definitely.
you know, if you a father, man, and you know, you got your kids in your life, man, you know,
Yeah.
just try to be the best, you know, be the best pop you can, man.
Most definitely. Yep.
For sure, man. And
Yes,
I
sir.
love you for sharing that with us, bro, because it's something that is not easy, and that's something that I hope to never experience, to understand,
Yeah.
but that is a unfortunate reality for a lot of parents out there.
Yeah.
And if you know, you're not aware, my cousin lost his daughter,
Yeah.
which is one of the transitions I want to take advantage of. Give you a minute, just take a breather. My friend Khadijah Moore is the founder of Pennies for Heaven.
Okay.
A lot of people that are parents don't speak to what it's like to be a parent to a child that leaves this earth before you,
Yeah.
that none of us are prepared to handle, and what kind of wound and that leaves inside of you when you give a piece of yourself to this earth and you don't have it no more.
Yeah.
That's a loss that none of us intends to take, that none of us plans for, that none of us
Right.
actually should have to experience, but unfortunately some of us does.
Yeah.
And she lost two of her grandchildren at the age of, I think both of them were under 5.
Wow.
Super tragic experience, and it's called Pennies for Heaven. There is a cash app. We're gonna put that information up on the screen for you guys. But if you want to donate to people going through loss that might need help with the burial costs, I don't think anybody expects to have a life insurance, on a 5-year-old. Nobody expects to lose that type of love. So if you have it in your heart to donate a couple of dollars to help somebody, if you've experienced this kind of pain and you want to ease it for somebody else, take the opportunity to reach out to somebody who's trying to turn their pain into joy for somebody else.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It happened very recently. Some days are better than others, but she's trying to find her way back by showing love to other people who are in the same position as her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think I have 2 boys. I never had the opportunity to be a father of a girl. You have 7 children, boo. Can you just kind of explain what the different experiences of being a girl dad and being a boy father? Because one of my OGs told me, and I believe it to be true, that God gives you boys so that you can see yourself in this world, and God gives you girls so you can understand this world around them. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you have a girl, you do your best to make changes in this world to make it safe for them. And when you have a son, you do everything to pour everything you have into him to make them prepared for what this world has for them.
Right. Yeah.
You feel me? what has been some of your experiences as being a father of a daughter, and some of your experiences and challenges as being a father of young men?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think that me and cousin Mark speak to. We both raised, sons and daughters, right? So I would say I think the difference is like with raising girls, it tends to be like a little more emotional. You know, say women are so emotional. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was just to always make sure that I was here when it came to my daughters, right? And I was here, right? So that was important to me because I wanted them to learn how to, dissect the difference between a good guy and a bad guy, right? I wasn't always a good guy, man. You know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't the most terriblest dude, but I wasn't always a good guy when it came to the women, man. I did some stuff.
Do you think that's one of
Said
the
stuff I
reasons
should've
most
said,
men
right?
be fearful of having daughters because
that's
of
where
their
I'm
karma
going.
coming?
That's where I'm going, cuz, right? So you tend to be more protective over your girls because you know what lurk out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Word.
say on that point, on that end, that's the difference between raising a girl and a boy, right? So when it comes to raising boys, you try to raise your boys to be a respectable man,
Right.
right? I mean, I never really tried to build my boys about you need this much money, you need this type of house, you need that kind of car, right? No. I taught my boys to be decent men, right? Because that's the most important thing. And I'm gonna keep saying this, especially as being a young black male, right? You gotta raise your sons to be respectful out here. You know what I'm saying? Because the world don't take kindly to us a lot. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I can say that I'm a proud stepfather, man. All right, I got two sons right now in the military. All right, and my other son is doing good. You know what I'm saying, with his mechanic. You know what I'm saying, with his mechanic skills. He just got a shop. Whatever, really. But you know what I'm saying. So it is a difference, right? Because you don't have to be so emotional with your sons, right? You just want to teach them to be a good man.
Right.
So for me, that's the difference between raising a male and a female.
Word. How about you, cuz?
You know what? I think for me, it seemed like my daughter, she was more on a cruise control than my son.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the upbringing. Well, as far as like the parenting that I had to do. You know what I mean? Like my daughter, she was more like, you know, like though she was a girl, she could kind of see the logic in a lot of things that I said, you know, or the things that were like displayed around her. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they say, you know, some things that are understood don't have to be explained.
Oh yeah.
And so it was kind of like I liked it that with her. You know what I mean? My son, you know, I'm finding myself, you know, having to explain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my daughter, I didn't have to really explain.
Yeah.
It
Girls
was-
are so much smarter, man. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Intuitive, maybe. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
my daughter, she caught on to things quicker.
Yes.
and
Yes.
into life
Yes.
quicker.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? For
Yes.
whatever that was.
Right.
You know, but also too, when it came to discipline, I didn't really have to like really whoop.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really have to really like give spankings like that.
Yeah.
It was more of a dang, daddy disappointed.
Yeah.
And just that right there, it was like, oh shit, let me get my shit together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
oh shit,
Yeah.
oh, I done fucked up.
Yeah.
I gotta correct that.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those things. So for me, that was the whooping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have to raise my hand too
Yeah.
much. You know, even
Facts.
with my son.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I tell him, hey son, now you know that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Now do I gotta explain to you why?
Yeah.
No, I ain't got. No, you ain't got to. Okay, well if I ain't got to, well do you explain to me why it was fucked up?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I want to know that you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Explain
mean?
yourself. Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but I see that's the difference though. You know,
Yeah.
my daughter, she grabbed life by the horns.
Yes, sir.
And she understood it quickly. And my son, I'm finding myself having to explain.
Yeah.
You know, he's still smart young man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But he behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
From what his sister was doing.
So it's like with those boys, man, you got to be like more hands on, right? Because you know, what I'm saying, because it's said about raising girls, man, they just so, man, they catch on to stuff so quick, right? And they understand life quicker than the male do. I know a lot of guys don't like to hear that, but females do understand life quicker than the male. They mature quicker than, you know, what I'm saying, than men do, right? So it's I would say if somebody asks me if it's easier to raise a boy and a female, right? I would say it's more easier to raise a female
I kind of would
than
too.
to raise a guy because you know, so raising a guy is so many challenges, man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You want to make sure they stay alive. That's the number one thing. You want to make sure they stay alive, right? You want to make sure that they don't go to prison. Sometimes stuff happens, right? And you want to make sure, I'm going to keep repeating this because this is the most important part. You want to make sure that you raise a respectful young man. You understand what I'm saying?
And you want him to be a man.
And you want them to be one. You want them to be
And you
a
want
man.
him to be a man.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, so right. So let me ask you this then. Transitioning from that question. Because I do notice, just to piggyback off what y'all was saying, just I haven't raised daughters yet, right?
Yeah.
But I've coached girls. I helped coach girls basketball. One of the things I noticed from coaching boys and coaching girls, I had to communicate with a lot more intention.
Yeah.
Boys, it'd just drop off them. They don't care. It was just motivating. The sound of my voice, they wasn't move. Raise the sound of my voice, everybody get to moving. Walk in the gym, the girls ain't dressed yet. Hey, what y'all doing? Y'all know y'all supposed to be running laps. Get to running. It's 2 girls crying now. It's one girl want to quit, and the other one is mad. What is y'all doing? All I said was run.
Yeah.
But I couldn't communicate. I couldn't be a yelling coach with them.
Right.
I had to ask them, you know, how was your day today?
Yeah.
How was y'all doing? Okay, y'all wasn't getting along. Well, let's run it off.
Yeah.
Let's something like that. I had to be up here with them, like you said. I had to do that. I had to worry about those kind of issues that was never even. They're just I think girls are very intuitive to emotions and the things around them.
Oh yeah.
Right now, at that stage of development, boys is everything about the outside world, and we're not wired to give a fuck about the other person's feeling and what's going on inside of them, because there's so much stimulus outside of ourselves,
right,
and so much information that we're taking in.
Until we reach a certain age.
Till we reach a certain age, right, for that core development, for sure. That's why I feel like sometimes at that age, when I'm looking at the styles of coaching, the different groups that I have to use, I have to make sure that there are no distractions around when I'm talking to boys. Nothing that can grab their attention. Nothing that can tempt them. Nothing that's tantalizing, right?
Right.
And as long as I close that out, they're zoned in on me and they're taking the information in. With girls, I have to be the distractions aren't an issue for them. I have to be very careful that they understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying it and the intentions behind it. Right? I have to make them reassured that I'm angry that we lost, but I'm not angry at you.
Delivery is everything.
Right? I never had to worry about communicating that to boys.
Yes. Yeah, the way men and women communicate, period.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, is totally different.
Oh yeah.
And so the man is we're gonna think with logic.
Yeah.
What makes sense.
Right.
Does 1 and 2 add up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The female, they're gonna think more with the emotion.
Oh yeah.
And they gonna wear it on their sleeve.
Oh yeah, buddy.
You know what I mean? And so when you're communicating, you know how like you know how like we have words in our vocabulary that sound the same, but they mean something different.
Yeah.
and
Right.
they're spelt different.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you say them, just depending on what the contents you use them in.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on
Yeah.
what the spelling is going to be.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like that with women, females, when we communicate.
Yeah.
We're saying one thing, but
Yeah.
they're hearing.
Oh my God.
And they're
Yeah.
perceiving
Another
another
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
buddy.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so when you're dealing with a young girl,
Yeah.
raising a young girl,
Yeah.
teenage girl up, becoming a young woman,
Yeah.
and she's in her first wave of that.
Oh yeah, bro.
You know,
Oh my God.
and
It's
you
rough.
and you the parent,
Yeah.
and you trying to figure out what the fuck wrong with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something
Oh yeah.
wrong.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you putting the two together. You and the mama, y'all get together.
Yeah, you
and
gotta
y'all
navigate
figure, and
Yeah.
then boom,
Yeah. Yeah.
and depending on what stage she at,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
That's
What-
why. That's why I was saying, cause like with those girls, man, you got to get them here.
Yeah.
See, once you got them there, then raising them is gonna be it's smooth out now. Right, you know what I mean? Because they listen, you know what I'm saying? When they get to a certain age, man, to where say they're gonna listen to you, and they understand what their father is saying, right? Because the message coming from a father to a daughter is different coming from a mother to a daughter,
Yeah, it is.
right?
It is.
Because sometimes you have that I'm the queen up in here, and you got the rising princess, right? So the revolt is eventually
Right,
gonna happen,
right,
Yeah.
right? But
right.
once that king step in and give his word, that princess gonna listen, bro, and the transition is smooth.
All right.
Yeah.
I do feel like that, but I do feel like you have a smaller margin of error with girls. I feel like they're easier to raise in some aspects. When everything's going right, but when something fucks up, it can really derail a girl emotionally. It can derail her in her mind, and I feel like sometimes it's a lot harder for them to recover from sometimes what boys will internalize and kind of grow past and move on from, and stuff like that. I do feel like boys might get into trouble at the end, but I think certain mistakes that you make have a longer lasting effect and evidence in girls' life than it does.
Well, that's pretty much true because like like Cuz said, like like having that your first child was like you realize that you really love something, right? And you can actually damage, as a father, you could damage your daughter, bro, if you don't. I'm gonna keep saying this because it's true. I raised 4 daughters, so I don't give a shit what nobody say. Your job would be difficult if you don't get up in here with your girls, man, because they always gonna be in a emotional state, and their feelings is all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like a ball of gravity.
So you got to make sure they're grounded.
You got to make sure that your daughter is grounded, and as a father, that's our job. It's not the mother's job, right? It's our job to ground our daughters, bro. Go
Because
ahead,
I was gonna say because really we are the first man that our
That's it.
daughters are gonna ever love.
Yes, sir.
And so
We said that last episode. The first
Yeah.
man you learn to love is your father.
Most
yeah.
definitely.
And so how you treat her is the man that she's gonna get out here.
Oh my God. Yes.
In the world.
Facts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so and what you put in her is what she gonna be looking out here in the street. You know what I mean? And so, look, for the most part, whatever you pour in is what you gonna see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so with the girls, we know that the girls can bring home these babies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We know that girls, when it come to life, they can get sometimes the short end of the stick because they can get with a no good nigga. The nigga can get them pregnant, leave them with the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And cause this is why that I treat my wife a certain way in front of my daughters, because I need for my daughters to understand this is the type of man
Right.
that you need in your life,
Right.
right? You don't see me smacking your mama around. You don't see me calling your mama out her name. You don't see me going in your mama wallet and taking her money, right? Your daddy get up and go to work every day, right? Your daddy come home and show your mama love. Yeah, we might have an argument here or there, but that's to be expected because that's part of nature, right? But I show my daughters this is the blueprint of the type of man that you need in your life. How you see me treat your moms, that's the type of man that I expect for you to bring to me when you want to introduce me to him. Because if you don't, both of y'all gonna get embarrassed, bro. All right, because I take my job as being a father very fucking seriously. And so, you know what I mean? So I want my daughters to see, you know what I'm saying, or my dad treat my mom this way. So, you know what I'm saying, the guy that I get with, he better bring the same type of energy.
Right on.
Or he probably gonna have a problem with my daddy.
Absolutely.
Facts. Because I just feel like I remember I was chilling on the porch with my homie and he was angry at his daughter and he kind of yelled at her. He was like, I'm just frustrated. I said, hold on though. I said, you can't yell at her like she your son. You got to explain to her why you was angry. Even if she was wrong, you got to make sure that she knows the anger is at the event and not her. And he was like, well, why? I said, because the way you love her is the way she's going to allow man to love her.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I swear to God, I believe that is true. The way that you love your kids is the way that they're going to allow other people to love them.
Of course.
So when a few minutes ago you were just talking about the dynamics of the girl and the rising up as the princess and butting heads with the queen and the king has to step in and stuff like that. Switching over to the boy side, right? I was never one of those kids that was like, quote unquote, smelling yourself. Right? Where you get kind of boisterous and you get to that point where your dad got to knock you out.
Right.
I was so looking for interaction from my dad to that I never reached the point where you feel like you could best him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but my father was always like, I'm waiting on this because this is what's supposed to happen. But that's just, like you said, every kid is different.
Right.
I didn't need that.
Right.
But some kids do. You do have to be put in your place. It's like, hey, I'm still your father, and I'd rather it happen at home before you go out there with a man that don't care about you playing man games and get hurt.
Most definitely.
So can you kind of speak to the transition of being a father of an adult child that sometimes you don't have all the control of? And sometimes they're still in your home. Sometimes you're trying to express things, but as they grow, you lose more control over their life and over their decisions. And you have to allow them to make certain mistakes. As an adult trying to father somebody who's potentially a young adult or an adult, and you still have perspective and wisdom they don't have yet, how do you find the balance in giving that to them and still allowing them to make mistakes and come back to you?
Well, I can say by having three grown sons, right? So, you know, even though we have a great relationship now, right? Well, one of my boys, man, it was just like, it was situation after situation, drama after drama, right? And he's I don't know why and how he's his way, but he's a real street dude. Right, and y'all know I wasn't no street dude, right, and I say he wasn't raised to be a street dude, but it's just that genetically, because we come from one of those type of families where we had street niggas out here doing all kind of shit, right?
Word.
So I guess he followed those footsteps. So I'm thinking, I would say that the silver lining for me and him was a long, hard fought road because me being a man already. Right, and seeing certain stuff, already been through certain stuff, right? He's trying to go down his road, right? He wanna make his own path, right?
Right.
But me already having been down a road, I'm not trying to steer you off your road, right? I'm just trying to make the road a little bit more smooth for you, right? And it's hard to find that balance raising a young man because the cliche is, when they get a certain age, they smell and they musk. I've had one of those boys, right? And it's hard, cuz. It's hard. But if you don't have, if I didn't have, the type of father that I had in my life, I never would have got it right with my son, right? So because I tried to steer off the road, and my old dude pulled me back You understand what I'm saying? I was able to find the tools to do the same thing with my son. Right? And I can't even explain to you what that is. Right? Because it's just embedded in me. So
can you kind of, if you can't explain why it worked, can you kind of speak to some of the things and the emotions that you had to get over while you were trying to figure it out?
Okay, trying not to go to jail. Right? Because you know what I'm saying, he's getting bigger now and he's getting physical, right? So me trying not to go to jail and having to understand that he is still a kid, right? So because to be honest with you, I really had to step outside of myself. I had to check myself because he got me to a point to where I want to go full man mode on him. Right? It's just like I lost it all. You know what I'm saying? The minute that I see him, it's on sight. We going at it, right? But I had to realize, man, this dude is just a kid, right? So if I can't be a man and show this kid why he's making the mistakes that he's making, I don't deserve to be a man.
So you had to find
Good
restraint
point, though,
and
cuz.
discipline within yourself.
I had to discipline myself, bro, to be able to discipline my son, right? And I can honestly say to this day that I'm mad. Look, I'm so proud of this dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? He actually grew up to be a great man, and he's a outstanding father himself. All right, so I know sometimes it may seem like you're not reaching your kid.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But the thing that I would say to everybody is you don't stop teaching your kids. You don't stop getting at your kids. You can never give up on your kids because you brought that seed in the world. A kid never asked to be here, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You just can't say, I'm done. No, you can't do that because, you know what I'm saying, God didn't give up on you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So don't give up on your child as well.
I could dig it.
Yeah.
Can y'all speak to that with problems with adult children?
Well, you know, when your child becomes an adult, man, as a parent, you know, I think it is just naturally in you to still want to guide, protect,
Yeah.
you know, and things like that. And sometimes letting go is hard,
Yeah.
you know, because, you know, as a parent, you know, you just know that's still my baby. I don't care
Yeah.
how big they get.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? And yo, like even to this day, man, like if you and your son was out and son jumped off, old as you is, you gonna jump because that's your son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the natural instinct that we have. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I just think that when it comes to their lives, we're always gonna you know, have that in us. You know what I mean? And but I will say this, that though we think that they don't listen, they be listening, man.
Yes.
We think that they don't be listening
Yes.
because to us they give us the nonchalant attitude, like
Yeah.
because that's just like a deferring or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is though, but they be listening. I'm gonna tell you something. Fucking my daughter, she was at Wayne State, and I was telling her about something. I was like, yo, bitch, like you just ain't hearing me, you know what I mean? I'm just fussing. And so I don't know what happened. To this day, I still don't know. But one day in the middle of the night, she called me. And this was like maybe, it had to be months after I was screaming and yelling at her about whatever it was.
Right.
And she had called me. It was the middle of the night. She was like, Daddy, she made quick little small talk. 'Cause it's late, you know, and I'm looking at the clock. But she said, she said something like, you be thinking that I don't be hearing you.
Yeah.
But I heard you, Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
And because something jumped off, whatever jumped off up there, something jumped off. She didn't want to tell me exactly what it was, but something jumped off. But long story short, she told me, Daddy, I heard you.
Right.
And so it just let me know, and it made me feel so good that, you know, that my words didn't hit the flow.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
whatever was going on, that she heard my voice and said, nah, Daddy said.
Right. Right.
XYZ.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
So,
when you know you did your job.
well, sometimes we feel that, that we ain't done good enough,
Yeah, we do.
as a
Yeah.
parent. Sometimes, we'll tend to question, damn, was I a good daddy?
Yeah.
Was I a good pop?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because you always want to be good for your kids.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you'll question yourself. I know at least I did,
Oh no, you're not the only
I
one.
said, damn, man, did I do that right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but this parenting thing, this whole, trying to raise your kids, there's no foolproof plan on doing it. It is basically on the job training. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And hopefully you wrote some notes down for the next go around when you have a second child. You know what I mean? You didn't wrote some notes down, what you had to do for the first one. But but all in all though, man, just bringing them up and raising them is a joy, man.
Yeah.
And anybody that have had the joy of just being a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I consider them to be, very lucky, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very lucky.
Yes, sir.
For sure, man. I just feel like it's a blessing to be a father.
Yeah.
I never felt like the job was hard. I never felt like it was too much for me. But I sympathize with the people that do. And I just wonder, because I don't have that feeling in me. Like, it never felt like a heavy burden. Like, I've always felt like I had so many other challenges in life, but none of them was because I was a father.
Right.
If anything, that has always been my safe haven, the one place where I feel purpose, where I feel unconditional love, where I feel motivated to move forward. But I think if you're a woman, it's okay to express some kind of postpartum depression.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's still hard, right? For women, they get judged for it because how can a woman go through this? And some of them feel shame to come forward and express it. So I don't want to be monolithic, like it's easy for everybody.
Right.
But even so, I feel like there's a diagnosis for it. There is a safe place where they understand it. But does anybody address the feelings and challenges that some of these young fathers have when they feel like they're not an adequate provider and they're not doing good in life? And when, you might not experience a sort of postpartum depression, but your kid is growing up and you don't have a job and you feel like you don't have control over the mentoring and the ministering to your child.
Right.
And no, your child isn't homeless and they not being abused, but you have information and knowledge in life that you could see for them and you don't have a way to exact it over them because you're in a blended family, or the woman feels like she has a better job and more resources, so your tutelage is not as valuable as hers because she has more monetary gain. So whatever your dad talking about ain't nothing because I make more money than him, so you want to be like me. Right? Yeah. So even like you say, you want your son to be able to think like a man. You want your daughter to be able to see the things that you see in other men and stuff like that. Nobody speaks to how men feel when that is taken away from them.
Well, I think that's because, because we are men and we looked at as being, leaders. You know what I'm saying? And society make men feel like that we shouldn't feel. Right? Like we shouldn't hurt. We shouldn't cry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's I just feel bad for young men that are fathers that didn't have a father, right? Because you know what I mean. How can you? Say with prayer, you can get anything done. But how can you? You know what I'm saying? How can you grow? I hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense, right? So how can you grow emotionally, or whatever, if you can't teach your son, the same thing? I mean, do that make sense?
Nah, yeah,
I get what you're saying. You don't have a model to you don't have a model to demonstrate.
Yeah.
So you're finding it as you go. I do think that trial and error, and I do believe that if you want to learn and if you want to find out, the resource will present itself to you.
Yeah.
Because I did not have an active father in my life raising me, telling me this is what you do. And the father I did have did not show me very good examples of putting your child first, of sacrificing, of swallowing your pride as a man and doing things for your child, being understanding, never giving up on your child. I didn't learn that, but I did learn it in all the examples of manhood that I had around me, because I was open to all the love. So because I wanted to learn, because I wanted to be better, I recognized those opportunities in the men like all of y'all that I was surrounded by growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up with Big Joe in the house. I grew up waiting for you to just crack your ass off that drum seat for 1 minute so I could sit down in church. You know what I'm saying? I grew up surrounded by y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really look at that as an excuse as I didn't have a father. I didn't have a mother. There's a mothering spirit and a fathering spirit somewhere around you, because I believe that God provides what you need. The world provides what you need if you're looking for it and if you're in search for it, right? But I do think that it should be a place for men who want to express their frustration with being a father, because I do believe there is times where it is so exhausting to fight to do the right thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? A lot of times the issue isn't that you want to be in your child's life. It's you want to be in your child's life, but another person has an opinion on how that should be facilitated.
Right.
So the fight becomes over the control and the doctrine, whether it's there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not Catholic.
Right.
Nobody in our family is Catholic. My baby mama found out one of her random great-great-grandmothers was Catholic, and none of them is Catholic, but now she wants the kids to learn about that because she feel like it's a part of her family history.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's okay with me, because that's a part of your whole spectrum of your history.
Yeah.
Right? But what if I had the type of mother, well, that's not the God I worship. I don't want you taking your kids to the mosque when they at your house and things like that. How, because we don't birth our children, because we don't carry them, the way we show love is by giving our history to them, giving our legacy to make us attached to them. So they are attached to their history, and when you disconnect them from the father's family, when you don't like the father and you don't want them to emulate the father's customs, you are taking something from that child, and you're taking a piece away of that father away.
Oh yeah,
and
most definitely.
I don't believe that a lot of us suffer from like a postpartum depression, but I do believe that there's a large section of men who are in blended families that do not have access to their children the way they want, that suffers from that loss and how it reflects their manhood to them.
Damn right.
Can you speak to a time maybe when you were raising kids in a blended family, might have been separated from a mother or something, and how you struggled to keep that connection in place in their life?
Man, my story is almost like World War III, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you got to find that balance. See, no matter what, no matter what happened between you and that child's mother, man, right? You know what I'm saying? You know the child shouldn't be in the middle of your nonsense. Because one thing about it, that father is going to be demonized. There's no doubt about. I don't give a damn. You can be the father of the year, father of the century, right? But as soon as that union splits up, oh, your ass automatically demonized, right? And it might not even be, you know what I'm saying, what the child thought. It's just that the mom now hates your ass for whatever reason.
Yeah,
right? She don't want nothing to do with you, so she gonna put all this venom in the kid's head about, you know what I'm saying, about a father. And the one thing that, one second, cousin, because I know you got something to say. The one thing that bothers me about that is that could mess up that relationship between that child and the mother once that child get a little bit older and realize, damn, my daddy wanted what my mama said.
Well, you know, the child is going to always come up with their own conclusion.
Yeah.
That's
you
right.
know,
There.
to whatever the shit was.
Yeah.
And that's gonna happen when that child starts to experience life.
Yeah.
You know, just like I had to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that my mom, because my mom never really bad talked my pop. She never really did though. You know, but you would think that, yo, like, dang, like my pop was bad because we were in California and it was just like not understanding from a child.
Yeah.
Like, why am I here? Why am I way, over here? My daddy way over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you start to experience life and you understand what relationship is about, because now you in your little thing.
Yeah.
You done had your first little seed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have in turbulence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see what I mean? And now you look at mommy and daddy situation and you say, well, shit, I see why it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I said, well, shit, it wasn't all him.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because you was a motherfucker.
That's right.
You know what I
Because
mean?
me personally, I was not a bad guy.
Yeah, no.
wasn't.
Yeah, you know.
I don't talk about it too much, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I love my boys.
Yeah.
I love my kids.
Yeah,
I did the best that I could,
yeah, yeah.
showing them the right way as much as I could.
Yeah. You did a great job, man. Cause you got outstanding boys.
But what less of like the strenuous part of the relationship, like what as a father when you going through that and you want to communicate love to your children through that kind of turmoil, how do you prevail through that and still succeed?
It's easy. But you got to want to do it.
But I'm saying, like, how? Like, what are the mechanics for some guys who
don't
just
know.
can't stop arguing? Like, every time I see her, I know it's going to be an argument when I get to this door and I just want to see my kids. How do they approach that in a healthier way for them to stay consistent until it gets better?
Well, for me, it was all about not seeing the baby mama for a while, right? So I had to make avenues to have somebody go get my kids, right, or somebody drop them off, but it couldn't be her,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
it had to be separation for months. I'm just speaking on my situation,
Facts.
right? Because the relationship ended violently. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was brutal. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? For me, the separation part from the baby mama had to be necessary. You know what I'm saying? For me to even bridge that gap back between, you know what I'm saying, my kids, right? So I had to repair that relationship with my two oldest daughters, right? Before I can even have a civil conversation, you know what I'm saying, with their moms. Right? Because, you know what I'm saying, because I was demonized, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't the best guy, but I damn sure wasn't the worst. Right? So you know what I mean? So for me, it was to, you know what I'm saying, find a way to, you know what I'm saying, to have your girls taken over there.
Right,
You
because
go,
a man,
you go pick them
he
up from
gonna
over
know.
there.
A boy child is going to know that this is bullshit that I've been taught by the mother.
Well, I think it don't have to
Sometimes,
be
I
because-
just.
feel like it's a mixture, right? Because I
It
have
is.
2 boys, right?
Right.
And for them, my oldest is a very intuitive person. He's very reflective. But I have to worry about him and I have to question him because he's like me. He internalizes a lot.
Yeah.
And you'll never know what he's suffering from because he's never going to say it out loud.
Right.
And he's going to look stoic.
Right.
Right. He will not say anything disrespectful to his mother. He's a very good son. But for the first time in like 9th grade, I will say he witnessed his mother telling an untruth. You feel me? I'll say it that way, as respectful
Yeah.
as I can.
Yeah.
Because my children watch and everything like that. That's their mother.
Right.
We're in a better place now.
Yeah, most definitely.
But she told an untruth, and he witnessed it. And one of the things that I've always dealt with was controlling the narrative, right? Because the kids, and especially his son, the first woman you love, just like the first man or girl loves is their mother.
most
You
definitely.
feel me? They love their mother, and
Yeah.
when they see their mother hurt, they want to heal that hurt. They want to shield that hurt. So when a mother conveys distress, crying, the son naturally hates anything that caused that emotion in her. Because they don't want to see somebody they love feel that much pain.
Right.
And I believe that becomes a manipulation tool by the mother over their sons in particular.
I agree with that.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
he was a student at JRLA. It was a great school, but because the mother wanted things just a little bit easier for her, and she wasn't willing to relinquish control over their schooling, so I can accept the deficit of them going to 2 schools. She wanted all her kids in a central location going to one school because that was better for her household.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily better for my children.
Right.
They were in programs, they were excelling, they were doing great, and so she didn't want to just take them out to school, so she began every day I'm hearing about a kid bullying him and this, and she's telling me that the kid tried to fight him and she had to call the police because they were threatening guns and all of this.
What?
So I'm thinking that all of this is going on. But really, it's just normal boy stuff. This girl liked you and you didn't like her, so she went and told a boy that you said something about him and said he got beat up at a dance. So now since you said I got beat up, I want to fight you.
Right.
Normal children
Right.
stuff. Nothing, nobody gonna get killed over or whatever. But you know, she called and the principal didn't tell me or the mother. Just put it on speakerphone. And let the narrative that she said and the narrative, well, I'm not sure, you sure this and the questions. And for the first time he can hear in real time without us, neither one of us knew he was listening until he told me later that, oh, that's not, well, that's why I'm looking crazy. I'm telling the principal that my mom's saying this is happening. She's saying, I don't know, I never heard this before.
Right.
This is the narrative she's been feeding me.
Right.
But me and the principal never heard that.
Right.
He went to school for a little bit longer, and eventually, you know, he wanted to leave because for the first time he could go to a school without uniform. And I'm okay with that, but it was such a breakthrough in our relationship when he could now understand, okay, my mom's not a bad person, she's not evil, but some of the things that she's saying about my father is just not, we'll just say exaggerated.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to say she lied because that's my son's mother.
Yeah.
But it was exaggerated.
Yeah.
And for my son to know that I'm being genuine and truthful, even though he still might be suffering the effects of the decisions we're making, it has changed my relationship and it has grown in a way where I feel better when things don't play out the way I plan it to.
Right.
Because I know that they aren't in the understanding that it's an absence of love from me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That can't be manipulated. Now, my other son is a little bit more emotional. He's a little bit more dramatic. He's a little bit more, he's like a flip side. Each of them is like, I can be a real hothead or I can be real stoic. He kind of got my quick temper without the balance to it. So he reacts off of emotion without thinking. So when I do something with him, I have to go back and make sure that I repair the damage.
Yeah.
Because he internalizes it and he's going to let you know that he's hurt. He's going to express that he's not happy and how it made him feel, and he's going to act out in a more immediate way.
Right. Well, I you know what though? I think that's healthy. You know what I'm saying, for a young man. You know what I'm saying? Now, how old is your son?
My oldest is 15 and my youngest is 13.
So which one you said, you know what I'm saying, always express yourself?
13. He's very expressive. He don't have a problem telling you exactly how he feel and why.
Now see, I love that because he's only 13, right? So by the time he get 18, 19, 20 years old, he's going to already know, you know what I'm saying, where he want his life to be. You know what I'm saying? He won't be a pushover. You know what I'm saying? He's going to let people know how he feel about stuff. I love that, man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of hide your emotions. Because, see, when you do stuff like that, man, that leads to bigger problems. Right? Because, I mean, one day, you know what I'm saying, he might explode on somebody.
And that's how my oldest is.
You know what I'm saying?
He's an explosion. He don't necessarily does.
You know what I'm saying? That's not really good, man. But, you know. Yeah.
We still learning, we still growing, man.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing to take away, man, before we wrap it up, I appreciate all y'all coming and,
Yes,
and
sir.
sharing y'all story and intimate details,
Oh, yeah.
man. I think it is really helpful, and I hope y'all got something out of it. But the one thing I want to take away from it is all the men I have been surrounded by have always expressed love, has been fathers in their community.
That's right.
To even children that aren't their children.
That's right.
We've always looked back and given, and I just wanted to show you that the narrative don't have to change because it's already been changed. We just have to believe it.
Right.
Because I've been surrounded by fathers who love their children, who
Yep.
want to be in their children's lives.
Yep.
For sure.
All of it, man. And I just want to say that it's a lot of challenges out there. So if you out there trying to struggle and figure out how to do things, man, just keep figuring it out, keep doing it, and it'll get better. It'll get to a better place. But you know, thanks, What's Buzzin' Cousin, bro.
Yes, sir. It was a
You feel
pleasure,
me?
man. It was a
All
pleasure.
kind of topics, man.
pleasure.
Thanks for coming by and
Yes,
sharing
sir.
some of the game
Anytime.
y'all been giving me for
Anytime.
years with the rest of the public, man.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.
Yes, sir. Yes,
For
sir.
sure. And thanks for always being a real one and supporting me, man. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
y'all.
Yes,
All
sir.
the time.
All right, so just to wrap it up, man, don't forget about Pennies for Heaven. There's a lot of people out there that you could touch and make a difference with that suffer terrible kind of losses. And if you want to give some kind of relief to a parent that's facing unimaginable loss on top of having to figure out how to pay for it, Pennies for Heaven is a cash app that's going to be on the screen, and we'll throw an email and everything up so you guys can send your support. And thanks, man. Tune in next week, man. Another episode of Howling Wolf. What's Buzzin' Cousin right here on Jungle Juice, man. We going to keep it rolling.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.